Okay, welcome everyone. In today's video, we'll cover everything you need to know about loops in Java. So for loop, while loop, do while, and for each loop. So let's start with the simple basic for loop and its syntax. It goes as follows. So it is same as in C or C++. You say for, then parentheses, and in the first part you need to initialize the variable. So let's say int I is equal to 0, and then you put the semicolon, and then you say the condition. So let's say I is less than 10, and then increment or decrement, so I plus plus or I minus minus, let's say I plus plus. So what this means is I will start at 0 and it will go until it is less than 10. It will stop when it is equal to 10, and that part will not continue. As you can see here, let me put this up, we got numbers from 0 to 9. You can also go from 10 to while I is greater than 0 and do I minus minus and then run the program. So it doesn't really matter. You can do it any way you like, and it will go the number of times you tell it to go. So this is just the basic syntax, and now we get numbers from 10 to 1. There could also be a condition in which you want to exit the loop. So let's say you're going through 10,000 times, but you want to stop if a certain condition is met. Then you can say if, then some condition like I is equal to 5, break the loop. So let me do it like this, break. So now when we print, you will see that will stop when I is equal to 5, and it will not get printed. As you can see, we exited, even though we say to go 10 times, we go 5 times. And you can also use the continue keyword like this, continue. So if I is equal to 5, continue, and it will skip the 5th iteration but continue with the other ones. As you can see here, we get numbers to 6, then we skip 5, and we get 4, 3, 2, and 1. So it's like a mini break which continues. And these are really important. You will often use break and continue. There's also a fun little thing you can do in Java. So if you say, let me delete this. If you say for and you put 2 semicolons, you will actually get an infinite loop. So as you will see now, and when we run the program, you will see that we actually don't get an error, but we get an infinite loop, as you can see, which now I'll break. Stop. And now let's go to the while loop. While loop is actually very similar to for loop, but we initialize in outside of the loop. So we say int I is equal to 0, and then we say while, and then some condition, and I will say while I is less than 10, do something. So we can print I, and then the thing that you have to do in here is you need to actually change the condition every time. So we will say I plus plus. If we don't say anything, this will be an infinite loop because I is always less than 10. And now when we run the program, you'll see that we'll actually print numbers from 0 to 9. If you want to do an infinite loop using the while loop, you just say while through, and then you do some task. And now when we run it, you will see that we will print out 0 to infinity because we're not incrementing the value. But yeah, let's stop that and go to the next loop. The third loop in Java is do while, and the only difference between while and do while is that this part gets executed at least once, even if the condition is false. So if I say while false, and in here I say system.out.println number 10, even though that the condition is false, we'll get 10 in here. So I need to put this here. Okay, run. As you can see that we'll get 10. Everything else is the same as the while loop, so you still have to say, I don't know, int I is 0, and then while I less than 10, do something. And of course you need to increment the condition, so let's say I++, and when we run the program you'll see that we'll get the exact same output as in the while loop. And let's go to the last loop in Java. And the last loop in Java is called for each or enhanced loop. And the syntax goes like this. So you say for, and then you say the data type. So in this case, it will be integer because we have an integer array. Then you say its name. So we can say X, and you put a semicolon, and then what array or collection are you going through? So in this case, it's array, which is this over here. And then we can say system.out.println X, and you will see that we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in this example, so we are going through array list. If you don't know what that is, it doesn't matter. It's just a collection of some sort. And for each loop is used to traverse arrays and collections. So we can say for, and now we say string. We can name it whatever you want. So you can say like something like this. And then you say the name. So it's AL. And then we can say system.out.println and ddd. And now when we run the program, you will see that we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as you can see here. But these are integers and these are strings, as you can see here. So this is the syntax. And since this is the same thing as a for loop, you can actually say if x is equal to 3, we can break as well. So break can be used in all the loops. As you can see here, we only go to 3 and here we go to 5. And you can also use continue if you want. And those are all the loops in Java. I hope you learned something. If you did, subscribe for more videos and see you in the next video. Bye.